Rich people didn't always buy islands. They used to just take them. No paperwork, no real estate agent, no $40 million wire transfer. If a king, an emperor, or a conquistador wanted a piece of land surrounded by water, they sent soldiers, not a check. So how did we go from conquer it with an army to buy it with a Venmo request? Let's trace it. Let's go back a few thousand years. Islands weren't property back then, they were prizes. Whoever had the biggest army or the biggest boat got the island. Pharaohs claimed islands in the Nile for temples. Greek city-states fought literal wars over tiny rocks in the Aegean Sea because whoever controlled the island controlled the trade routes around it. There was no concept of owning an island the way we think of it now. You didn't buy it. You defended it or you lost it to the next guy with a bigger fleet. Fast forward to the 1500s through the 1800s. European empires start sailing around the globe and suddenly islands aren't just prizes, they're assets. Sugar islands in the Caribbean, spice islands in Indonesia, entire economies built on land that 100 years earlier belonged to nobody but the people who already lived there. This is the era where claiming an island stops meaning planting a flag and fighting for it, and starts meaning something closer to paperwork, deeds, colonial charters, ownership on paper, backed by force. It's the awkward middle step between conquest and purchase. You still needed power to hold an island, but now there was a legal document pretending it was civil. By the late 1800s and early 1900s, something changes. Empires start shrinking, navies get more expensive, and a new kind of person shows up with enough money to just buy land outright, without needing a flag or a war. This is where the first real private island owners, in the modern sense, start appearing. Wealthy industrialists, newspaper barons, old money families buying up coastal land and small islands off the East Coast. Not for empire, not for trade, just for privacy. That's the real turning point. The reason for owning an island quietly shifts from power and resources to nobody can bother me here. By the mid-1900s, private islands go from something rich people occasionally did to an actual status symbol. Aristotle Onassis buys Scorpios in Greece in the 1960s and turns it into the ultimate private retreat. Private beaches, a private chapel, a private harbor for his yacht. Jackie Kennedy gets married there. Suddenly, an island isn't just land. It's the loudest possible way to say I have more money than I know what to do with, and I'd rather you not be able to reach me. Today, buying a private island isn't some rare, mythical thing reserved for royalty and oil tycoons. There's an entire industry built around it. Websites list hundreds of private islands for sale, starting as low as a few $100,000 for tiny undeveloped ones, all the way up to tens of millions for islands with airstrips, staff quarters, and their own power grids. Billionaires like Richard Branson with Necker Island and Larry Ellison, who owns roughly 97% of the Hawaiian island of Lanai, have turned owning an island into a normal item on the ultra-wealthy shopping list, right next to the yacht and the jet. And the reason hasn't really changed since Onassis. It's not really about the land, it's about being somewhere no one else can be. So here's the wild part. The drive behind owning an island never actually changed. Ancient kings wanted islands for control. Colonial empires wanted them for resources. Modern billionaires want them for privacy. Different era, different justification, same underlying instinct. If you have enough power, you don't share space with everyone else. You get your own. The only thing that changed is the method. It used to take an army. Now it just takes a bank transfer. So next time you see a billionaire's private island on the news, remember, 1,000 years ago, that same instinct would have started a war. Today, it just starts a real estate listing.